Well, really the author retains control over the whole process. If an author wants a particular type of book, or if they want sort of professional cover design, it's really up to the author to decide what they want from their book. And that may involve using a self-publishing company such as Matador to provide some of those services or all of those services, but it's the author's choice. The author gets the book they want at the end of the day. I think there's a lot of factors really that come into play. The state of the market is such at the moment that it's harder to get published now than it ever has been before. Commercial publishers are shrinking in their lists and they're reducing what they're publishing. There's also a lot more people who want to publish. There's a lot more people who are writing and they want to see their work in print, whether or not that be trying to get it so that it's sold in bookshops, or if it's just for family and friends, or to see how it goes. There's all sorts of motivations for doing it. I think really you should research the market first. Primarily decide why you're self-publishing. There are lots of different motivations for self-publishing. As I mentioned, some people want to just do it. It's a combination of a hobby. They want to do perhaps a poetry book or a local history book, and they just want to see it in print and get a few hundred copies out there maybe, or do print on demand. But at the other end, some people want to be best-selling authors. They want to test the waters. They want to try and get a reputation. All sorts of reasons why you would self-publish. But in many ways, you've got to know that before you start the process. I would also advise authors to think ahead. Don't rush into it. Don't produce a book and then worry about how you're going to sell it. You've really got to think about this in terms of marketing, PR, how are you going to market the book, how are you going to tell people about it, then what's the best way to produce the book, and then get into the market. And very often that can take 6 months at least to work through a process. But often that process will tell you what the best way of doing a book is. I think it's an interesting question. I think a lot more people are going to self-publish in the future, and I think it's actually maturing as a market, so there are a lot more opportunities now to do it properly and to produce a book that is comparable to a commercially produced book. And a company like Matador, which really concentrates on the high-end quality of self-publishing, it is concentrating in that area because that's, I think, one of the futures of self-publishing. What we're trying to do is produce books that are comparable to, in terms of quality of production and content and marketing and distribution and sales, to a commercially produced book, so that authors can benefit from that sort of expertise. And at the other end of the scale, of course, if you want to do a print-on-demand book and just sell a few copies here and there, that can also be done. But there's no reason why it shouldn't be done properly and why you shouldn't end up with a quality product. This comes back to, as I say earlier, to authors researching the market. You need to look at what you're looking for from your self-publishing project, and then really find out the best suppliers to